You're listening to the BFF Black Fat Femme podcast
on the iHeart Podcast Network.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the award-winning Black Fat Femme podcast, where all the intersections of identity are celebrated. I'm one of your hosts, Jon, also known as DoctorJonPaul, and this message is for the girlies who have mental health issues just like myself. Babies, I say this with love, beloved, precious, whatever you like to be called. Take your medicine. I just want to say that just with love. I want to say, baby, take your medicine. If you have the means to get it, I want to make sure that I make it very clear that I do recognize that medicine is expensive. So I don't want to come off as being like, take your medicine, and then we get responses from our listeners. You don't know why. Okay, I get it. I get it. The struggle is hard and it is real for a lot of us. A lot of us are struggling with healthcare. However, the girlies who can access it, I do, like I said, I recognize that. If you can, please take it. I say this because I upped my Effexor about 2 weeks ago. And baby, the way I wake up every morning, I hop out the bed and I turn my swag on. I literally hop out the bed and I turn my swag. I said, I could do this. Even though this world is on fire, even though bombs are being thrown left and right, I still feel like and again, I'm not saying that I'm for it, because you all already know how I feel about it. But I feel like I can do it. And so I would say, as a purview to you, if you can, please take your medicines. We're going to talk more about medicine and mental health and all of that towards the end of the show. But I just wanted to make sure that I start off by saying that it is so important right now. And I say this both in jest, and we're going to get into the comedy of it all in a second. But I say this in jest, but I also say this in seriousness. Please take care of yourself right now, because there is so much happening left and right, up and down. And I would be doing a disservice to my platform, or to our platform, I should say, our collective platform, if I didn't say, please take care of yourself in this moment. But anyway, my sister, Joho, how you doing this week, girl? I know that. I already know what's happening.
I need friends, lovers, besties. It's your girl, Jordan, aka Joho, and I need to reach out to my doctor to up my Lexapro, because I think I need it soon. I am this close. When I say this close, the fingers are closed, actually, to a MenTB. I'm also running on fumes. I have just driven from San Francisco to Burbank today and literally came right to studio. I'm in studio. And so I am, she's running. She's running. To where, who's to say, but she's here. She's queer. She needs a mirror, because I was like, I ran the bathroom, splashed my face with water, tried to do my eyebrows really quickly.
Wake up, bitch.
Wake up, bitch. I was like, my hair looks a mess, but I'll do 1 kilo curl with some lotion. Girl, me using bathroom lotion is wild. Diabolical work. Blessed bathroom to have lotion. Using bathroom lotion to do your hair real quick is a wild thing to do.
However, it's a resource, though.
Listen, and if I am one thing, it is resourceful.
That part
is resourceful. So I am here, and I'm excited to be with you. I miss you, Jon. It's funny because last week I was telling you how thankful I am that I get the ability to travel and do this and take my stuff with me. And today I regret saying that. Today I'm like, you redacted. I said, you're yes. Having to carry all this shit with me into studio. I'm like, no, maybe I don't. Do I love the privilege? Sure.
Yeah. However,
two things keep it true. I love it and I hate the same
literally
time.
It's giving James Baldwin, right? Duality.
Okay,
it's
duality.
Giving duality. Yes. Well, with that being said, the thing that is better in this life than just the two of us is having someone in our third seat. So today's guest, we're gonna bring them in. Also, I saw that cat. I know Dochi has been on the interwebs talking about how much they don't like cats.
I know. Yes. That's hard. But I used to hate cats.
Okay.
So I know there's a journey.
There is a journey. Okay. It is the journey. I'm still here.
Yeah. If one wants to take it, it's there.
Yeah. It's there. Well, with that being said, one of the funniest divas that I have been able to lay my eyes on in the scope of
Mm-hmm.
social medias. They are an actress, she's a writer, all around funny bunny, honey. You've seen her on screen impersonating your favorite archetype. From period pieces to craft girlies, come on, Michaels, to public radio investigators and more. And we know she is your fave because the Instagram algorithms tell me every time I'm scrolling, at least every other video
No,
is
that's
either
right.
you or another comedian that I absolutely adore
No,
that I'll
that's
be talking
right.
about in a second. Please welcome Nicole Daniels to the show. How are you, my love?
Oh, I'm good. That was such a very kind and generous introduction. I appreciate
I
that.
live.
Yes.
Nicole, are you my cousin, girl? Cause we have the same last
You
name.
do. You
We could be
I
cousins.
mean, I think we are
I feel
cousins
like
at that
we look
point.
like we could be. We
I
look
think
like we could be
so.
cousins.
And I
and knowing what I know
appreciate
about your dad, Jordan,
That's
somebody
why I said cousins, not
not
siblings.
related. Okay,
Don't
okay.
don't do me like that, girl.
No, I'm just saying you
My papa was a rolling
I know.
stone.
Well, so was mine. So I'm not trying to come for you. I'm just saying somebody somewhere could be related to us in some capacities
yes,
because of who we are.
Mhm.
Yes.
I
Yes.
see.
You know,
But
yeah.
I feel like I have learned from my cousin today of this trick of the lotion for the
The
curl. I
lotion
would
girl.
never have thought, and I have had times because I've had some issues
Not
with these
lotion
front
for the
curls
curl.
recently, and they've just not been cooperating. And I have been in situations where I have not had any product, but I have had lotion.
Yes.
So next
Yes.
time,
I'm screaming.
You said
Mixed hair care 101. If you have lotion to buy you, girl, anti-frizz, and it works similar to gel. Won't last as long, but it
right?
works in the moment. Okay, a little
Mm,
quick fix.
I love that.
I
I live.
absolutely hate it
After this
here.
show, Nicole, you and I are gonna have to do a little family tree moment and trace our
Yes, yes,
genealogy,
to
because
get
I'm
really
sure
clear.
somewhere, some grandparents, someone
Mhm,
arrived
mhm,
here together.
mhm,
Mhm.
But
mhm.
for now, y'all, in this category today, we're gonna give our flowers to Miss Iconic Tisha Campbell as we do every week. And this week, we're gonna kick off our show by asking, how has comedy helped you cope with all going on in the world right now? I'll start. Nicole, pass it to you, then we'll go to John. And for me, like, comedy is my escape. Comedy is like it's what I like. So like I appreciate comedy even when it's I even appreciate problematic comedy when it's actually funny, when it actually points to like an issue in the world, right? Like
Mm,
I like
mhm.
I like I don't mind like people like when people are like, oh like really, oh Jordan, like you don't like this comedian, or like like you're walking around saying fuck Dave Chappelle. I'm like, yeah, because it's just not funny jokes. Like I
Mhm,
love a crass humor. I love
mhm,
a
T.
mhm.
problematic joke,
Yeah,
T.
but
Real.
make
yeah.
it funny, girl. It's
Mhm.
not
Mhm.
funny. And so I
Right.
think, so I appreciate good comedy because
Mhm.
because I feel like it provides an escape, provides like if we exist in this like pressure pot, right? It's like a little twist of the valve that makes
Mhm.
the steam release. I appreciate that a lot. I also think to be queer and to be black is to be funny in the world,
Mhm.
because the whole world acts funny around you. So
Mhm.
you gotta be funny back in your own ways. And I feel like that helps me cope as well too. I think
Yeah.
and I think lastly, like comedy is, comedy or being, or like have, I mean, well, there's two things. It's like you have to enjoy comedy, but you also have to have a good sense of humor. Like some people's humor is also not there. Like not everyone wants to or can have that sense of humor. And like
Mhm.
I love stupid shit. I love
Yeah.
thoughtful shit. Like I love all
Mhm.
types of shit. Just don't shit on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
What
so I feel well. And so I feel
I
like
was not ready for that. I really wasn't. I said, wait a minute now. Okay, okay, all
it's been
right.
a day. It's been a day.
Sorry.
But what I'm saying is, I think what it helps me is it really helps me also like recenter myself by not feeling
Mhm.
so stuck in the BS, stuck in what's happening. And let's me say, like, there's something better right now in this moment that I could really attend to and like enjoy and experience. So
Can, can
that's
I
yeah.
Mhm.
ask a question for both of you, and specifically for you, Nicole? Because I would assume you've probably you're trained in comedy and all of that, right? You've probably done
Not
UCB
I'm
ish.
not no, no, no.
No.
I am not
Okay.
trained in any kind of comedy.
Wow. Okay. Well, either way, you're.
Ooh.
I still think you're a
Yeah,
fantastic
I'm
comedian.
trained as an actor.
Okay. Okay. Well,
I'm
still,
trained as
there's
an
still
actor, so there
Yeah, yeah,
absolutely,
yeah.
there
absolutely.
is a
Yeah.
training
But
that's
I have
there. Yeah.
not done like the UCB,
Okay.
the
Was just wondering.
Mm.
Well,
I'm
okay.
just
And
What's
lucky
again,
that sometimes I'm funny.
well, yeah. Well, I
the
mean, like,
question
well,
I
like,
was going.
Yeah,
Go
no,
ahead, Jordan.
we're gonna ask because I was
I
curious
was
about
gonna
it.
say my question is because you said, Jordan, that you have to have a good sense of humor
Mm,
to be, and I'm wondering, do we believe that comedians have to have a good sense of humor to be a comedian?
mm.
I'm just wondering.
I do.
I
Okay,
think they
you do.
must.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
like they must.
Well, and I
But I
also feel like there are people who are comedians, and it's
The quotations.
and is
yes.
it about, everybody has taste, and like it's
Yeah.
good to have your own taste, and something is going to resonate with everyone. And I'm always just like supportive. I'll have friends who are like, I want to start creating X, Y, and Z thing online, and I will always say yes. Like, I think the
Mm,
internet is just endless space, and people
Mm-hmm.
should
Mm-hmm.
create and share and whatever.
Right.
But I
but
do think there's a spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Well, no, as I say, I think like like stand up is a bit more methodical, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
there's a structure to what you do,
Mhm.
and I
Yes.
think that's different than like developing your own sense of humor. Like
Mm,
and I think like with when you're trained in acting, right? Like you are trained in having good comedic timing. You're
mhm,
trained in like how you might say something, which I think lends itself to being funny a different way.
mhm,
Like for myself, like I always say I'm situationally funny. I know I have good
mhm,
Same.
comedic timing.
Same.
I know I can emphasize certain words or syllables to make it funny, but I
mhm.
know I could not do stand up because I couldn't like build out like a joke in that way.
Mhm.
That's
Mm,
not how my
mm-hmm.
humor works, and that's like not my training, right? You do have to be trained to like structure a joke
Yeah.
and write something in that way, and I
I
Right.
think
mean,
that's a
I feel
different
that
level.
same way. I don't think I'm as situationally funny, but that piece of like stand up, it just
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
that seems
Mm-hmm.
so difficult to me. And it
Yeah.
is. There's like a real art to it and a real training, just what you were saying, because you are create writing and creating and
mhm.
having to think about how each piece lands. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
whew.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, Nicole,
Okay, yes.
how is comedy helping you cope in the world?
Yeah.
I mean, I love just a little good scroll that will always make me
Mm,
laugh and
Yeah.
chuckle. I think what I often find funny on the internet is not exactly this same kind of stuff I put out. Like I like just
mm,
a good little bit. I like just an unexpected thing.
Yeah.
And I do think that piece of like being black and queer is an inherently kind of funny, or what I often feel like is
yeah.
absurd experience. So much of
Mm-hmm.
what I pull from
Mm,
and so much of what I actually think my comedy leans towards is just absurdity. And especially when like Lisa Beasley, who does Corporate Aaron, and I like
Mm-hmm.
go and do a live, like so much of what we're doing is just absurd, but it's still making a point.
So
Like when
real.
we
Mm-hmm.
elevate the rats as like the rats are getting all of these benefits as workers in the nonprofit that the people
Mm-hmm.
aren't getting. It's like it's funny, but it's like also making a point. And
mhm,
like I think that I feel like I've been in that kind of absurd situation
mm,
left, right, and center.
Same.
And so I think
mm.
that like the humor I have the most fun both like making and observing is what like taps into that absurdity.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I love that.
Yeah, and that was what I was alluding to, and right before we started recording was you and corporate Aaron going back and forth about the rats. That is funny because, like I said, for me, it wasn't for rats, it was roaches for us, but that's neither here nor there. It
But
just
maybe it is.
it is
Because
right. Like the
that might
reality
be a
is,
need that might need to be a community that we loop in.
yes,
We
not the
loop
roach is funny. But I just say all of that to say I think that, again, you and a few others that I follow, I mean, even I think Francesca Ramsey, like even thinking about
Yeah.
her lens of comedy and how she takes the absurdity of, white people jumping in her comments to try
Yeah.
to either
Mm,
Yes.
one, mansplain her, or two, to kind of overtalk her as a black woman. That
Mhm.
is funny, the way that she
mm,
Yes.
takes that and she creates content around it. And so yeah, like I
Mhm.
I agree, like it is very situational, but I also believe like there's such a craft, and I honor and I respect you and so many other people. And I was going to say, I think this question is great because I think so many of us feel like, because everything that's happening right now around us, we shouldn't be like,
Mm.
there's no fun. You know what I mean? Like, oh, there's no fun. The world is
Yeah.
terrible. Sit down, be quiet. Don't talk about the joy that you have. Don't talk about that new thing you want to buy. Like the
Mhm,
world
mhm,
is on fire. And I think for me, I appreciate that there are folks like yourself who are putting these things out into the world because, in my notes I said when I'm laying in bed and I'm having a day where I'm like, I want to ease into the day instead of just waking
mm,
up and start doing a whole bunch of things. It's always really cool to see you on my timeline or to see corporate Aaron on my timeline. Or like I was saying, there's this other gentleman that I follow. I forget what his name is, but I think his comedy is so hilarious because, and this is something that I feel like not a lot of comedians or a lot of people who create content can do. He toes the line of, I wouldn't say homophobia, but because that's
mm,
not the right word. He right, he toes the line of his jokes, and even when he's talking with the crowd, when he's doing crowd work,
mm,
you can tell he's very much an ally and he's having a fun time. Like his
mm,
content is never about queer people, it's about queer culture. And
mm.
it's so studied and it's so like you can just tell that he's very
Mm,
tapped in. And that's what I
Right.
love following about him. What I love about
mm,
following him is that I can tell he takes the time to study and to recognize. And even in moments when you can tell that he's like, oh, I stepped on the landmine, let me not go any further, he
Mm,
walks away from it. And I'm like,
mm,
I can
mm.
respect him for that as a comedian. But anyway, all that to be said, and I if I find out what his name is, I'll throw it out. But I say all of that to say, I think one of the things that is so important right now is, and like I said, the one thing about me is I'm gonna laugh no matter what. The
Mhm.
most terrible
mm,
thing can happen. Like me and my husband will sometimes just be sitting upstairs and he'll go, "You remember that time when that thing happened?" And we'll literally just sit there and we'll laugh. And in the moment, me and him were having like we were falling apart because it was such a terrible thing that happened to us. But then, it's funny. Like even just recently, I just tweeted. I said, "My best friend ain't got no reason to be dead right now." Like what? Literally, Carla, like, why would you go and die right now? Right. And everybody jumped into my comments and was laughing. And I'm going, like, as
Yeah.
much as I'm like, that's still a really hard thing for me to know that my
Mm,
best friend's
Mm,
not here.
mhm,
I know in my heart of heart that Carla will want me to laugh in this moment,
mhm.
thinking about her and her legacy. So I say all of that to say I just think laughter makes even the darkest moments. It reminds us
mm.
it's just gonna be all right. And Black people have had to laugh through everything.
Yeah.
I think we've just as a culture, we laugh because we say this shit is fucked up, but we gonna be all right. So
And I
And
think
that's
that's oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, no, please, Nicole,
No, I
please.
was just gonna say that especially with nonprofit boss, because that's probably the character I get recognized for doing the most, just like on the
mhm.
street. The number of people who come up to me and say, your videos help me so much in my job. Like
Yeah.
it means so much to me that I can laugh. Like I had somebody once come up to me in the airport and she started crying. She was like, my work has been
Mm,
so difficult. And like, this is the one piece of part of my day where I like feel joy and can laugh and also feel like I'm not just in this bubble that feels so harmful and all of
Mhm.
these other things. And so I do think it's that like we need that, and
Mhm.
it's about
Mhm.
integrating both parts, like integrating the pain of whatever is going on also allows us to bring in the humor. Like it's
Yeah.
not, they're not completely divorced from each other, and that
Mhm.
when they come together we are able to move through things.
Yeah. Well, I say some of the funniest people are the people who've experienced the most trauma. And I
yeah.
hate that it's true, but it's real. It's like, I mean,
Yeah.
think about I think about the gentleman who played I'm terrible with names, Jordan. But I think about Mrs. Doubtfire, right?
Robin
Mm,
Williams.
Robin
Hmm.
yeah.
Williams, a lot of people
Mm,
said, around the time that he passed, that he was a very troubled individual. And I hate that for him, right? I
Yeah.
hate the fact
mhm,
that he was a troubled individual, but I think his comedy led into this idea of, because of all the trouble I've had and because of all of the things that I've been through, I can actually use that as a means for me to get
mhm,
to that moment that makes you chuckle or giggle or
mhm.
laugh. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was gonna say I think that's kind of like part of the reason why I
Thank
say
you.
you have to think about how you develop your humor because the best comedy is gonna be from a place of truth, right? But, like,
Mhm,
Mm,
truth exists both in the joy and the pain,
mm,
and so I think when you're able to alchemize them both, right, like, you can create something really beautiful. One of my
mhm,
dearest friends did stand up last year. He was it and he did it because he was, like he did improv classes and stand-up
Mm-hmm.
classes to help him process a different trauma for him. And they
Mm-hmm.
did a showcase, and he was like, when I was talking about, I was like, I'm nervous for the showcase because I'm like talking about a lot of trauma, and I hope it'll be funny, but what if it's not? And he was like the best one there, like easy. And and I remember telling him like it was so fucking funny because yeah, it was some traumatic shit, but like we all have experienced this, and so we all get to have catharsis with it as well too. And so it
Mm-hmm.
comes from a true place, an authentic place. People can connect with that, right? And like, right, like even for like, ooh, girl, like it's still
Mm-hmm.
funny because you're like,
Yeah.
ooh, bitch, that like it's also like saying the things that you might think, but you don't get to say out
You
loud,
can't
right?
say out loud.
Like, I
Yep.
imagine that's probably like why you get recognized so much for nonprofit boss because it's the things that like that we all experience when we work a nonprofit, and we all wish we could like point out, but we can't. So
Yes.
we're
Yeah.
like, so it's right.
Mm-hmm.
It's this like skinless taboo, but in a really cathartic way, which is
Mm-hmm.
I will like say like is a gift to give,
Mm-hmm.
Nicole. So I really hope
Oh
you,
yeah.
I really hope like you acknowledge and receive that like it is a gift that you give others
You
by
Mm-hmm.
are.
letting them have that
Yeah.
catharsis.
Yeah.
Now that we've reminded y'all, our listeners, to laugh to keep from crying, we gotta take a quick break, and we'll come back to talk shop with my cousin Nicole.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes,
Yes, yes,
cousin. Yes,
Yes,
cousin. All right, y'all. And we are black with the hilarious Nicole Daniels. And this week, we are going to dive into a conversation about how life inspires the characters you create and how you make the work look so effortless. And so I wanted to start off by saying, first of all, one, when I saw you literally, so it's always one of those things that I always kind of get shocked when people I love know me and my work and be like, oh, we want to be on your show, blown away. And so I wanted to first just say that that's my little fangirl moment. But I
Oh
did
my
want to
God.
ask you, thinking about the spectrum of characters that you
Mm-hmm.
have created, like you said, corporate, you have not corporate, you have nonprofit boss, you have the lady who, likes to go shopping, all of those different characters. I would love the earnest craft store lady is actually the name, and the investigative journalist. I want to know like what first drew you to character work, and when did you realize that this was something you could really run with, create like
Mm.
creatively, and also build a following around?
An early memory that I just recently had is that when I was in middle school, which was a tough time for me, a tough time for everyone, I
Mm-hmm.
started to do the morning announcements, which were videos, like, or live streamed,
Ooh.
whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
I would do them in character, which is something I hadn't thought about in
Oh,
Ah,
so
interesting.
long. But I
yes.
would do these
Interesting.
like very just like strange characters. And when I started doing that, it was very healing for me. Like when I say
Mm-hmm.
middle school was
Mm-hmm.
bad, it was like bad, bad. And there was
Mm-hmm.
this real shift. And I started to really step into myself and feel
Yeah.
better about
Mm.
myself, safer within myself when I started doing that. And far before that, like as a kid, I would always do like characters in my house and like act out stories and play all
Mm-hmm.
the people. And I was an only child, if that
Oh, okay.
wasn't clear yet.
Yeah. He
um,
said, I gotta create friends in my head. All right, all right.
exactly, exactly.
Yes.
And so I
Yeah.
would just be like, and they were normally historical things. So I would be like the girl, and then the sister's like dying, and then the mom is there, and then like I was everybody.
Mm.
Um,
Not
and
Days of Our Lives.
with a bonnet, Days of Our
Yes,
Lives
yes,
with a
yes,
bonnet.
yes, yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
Um, but then I spent a lot of time doing a lot of different day jobs trying to figure out how I was going to become an actor. Like I went to
Yeah.
Mm.
acting school, I did all of these different traditional things, but couldn't figure out my point of entry.
Mhm.
And those day jobs were like babysitting, nonprofits, all of the things I do characters about now were my day jobs.
Mm.
And then at a certain point, I was like, I am struggling in that I'm not being an actor. And I feel like I'm not true to myself. I feel like I
Mm.
can't call myself an actor because I don't do that.
Right,
And
right.
it was just really, really getting me down. And at a certain
Mhm.
point, I said, you know what? I'm just going to start making videos online, and I'm going to start just doing characters based
Mhm.
on these parts of my life. And that is how it started.
Mm.
And just building out of these different characters of people I'd worked with, experiences I'd had. But I think I started with like the babysitting mom and then the babysitting
Mm.
dad. And then Nonprofit Boss was pretty early too. But then as it's expanded, doing all this like public radio stuff, and I've like rap public radio, and then bringing Craft Store Lady into the picture, like that's a really new one. But I've also done like House Hunters parodies and like all of my like weird stuff with the American Girl dolls. And I think some of
Yeah.
that weirder stuff is like that's kind of my that's the stuff that I
You're
really
that's
like.
nice.
Yeah.
I mean it's all fun and all has a different place and space for me, but that is how it came to be.
You know, your characters feel like people that we all kind of know, right? Like we're sharing that a bit earlier in our last segment. Like we know these people in some ways.
Yeah.
I'm curious, like where do you pull the inspiration from? Like are the like do you know them via personal experience? Are these folks that you just met in passing? Are there like, are they like cultural archetypes you like to twist
Mhm.
around? I'm so curious about what that process is like.
I mean, Nonprofit Boss is very specifically one person in terms of the physical life
Yes.
and like
Yes.
like in the like overarching way she kind of presents is one
Mm-hmm.
specific person. But many of the things she said are from lots of different nonprofit
Mhm.
bosses that I had
Mhm.
over the years. Um, and then like experiences like people from former jobs will still share with me and whatever. So it's that character came about that way. Craft Store Lady, my mom as a kid, she would always take me to these like very small local art craft stores, and I
Mhm.
hated it because everything was so slow, and like how they would wrap it was so slow. And so that was very much a childhood experience that was etched
Mm.
in. And then at a certain point, I was like just putzing around my house and started to kind of do it. And I was like, oh, is this a character?
Yeah.
Um,
Ooh.
so I think they come about in different ways, or like I started listening to a ton of like public radio investigative podcasts, and I was like, there is such a thing to this, and my brain is already doing it in
Yeah,
my
it's
head.
ruminating.
Maybe I
Mhm.
should make a video.
Put to paper. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah. I I love the craft store. My partner shared a meme with me recently, and it was this woman, and we all know the archetype of the person who goes shopping at the
Mm-hmm.
craft store. She had like the boho pants on and the big beads, and the bag smells like patchouli oil. And ultimately, my partner was like, I could really use a hug from her right now. And I'm like, that's literally like we
Yes.
all know
Yeah, we
that
know.
lady
Yeah.
who is in Joann's trying to
Mm-hmm.
take up all of the glittery fabric. So I just
Yes.
adore that
Yeah.
so much. You know, a lot of creatives talk about the line between who they are as an artist and who they are as a person. And I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to know, like for you, especially now, like you said, you're out and about and people recognize you from different things that you do online or even in television shows. How do you maintain your own sense of identity outside of the characters you play or the online persona people might associate you with?
I think it's always a tough one for me. Like
Mhm.
I am a Cancer moon and Cancer rising. I'm very sensitive.
Mm.
Ooh.
And I like a lot of times people will be like, "Oh my god, all I see is you as a nonprofit boss. I hate you." And I'm like,
Why?
I get that it's coming from a
Right.
like haha funny place, but
Uh-huh.
I have a hard time that like some of the characters I play are so hated.
Yeah.
And I think Craft Store Lady has felt very liberating because I know some people are like, "Oh my god, hurry up, she's so annoying," whatever. But overall, there's a lot more love towards her, which is nice.
Mhm.
Um, I do think because I'm so known as some of these like bigger characters that I
Mm.
don't personally connect with as much, that is sometimes weird for me. Or like
Mm.
Mm.
I haven't worked in a nonprofit in 6 years, and so I'm pretty removed from that world. And so
Yeah.
like when people are like, "Oh, X, Y, and Z experience at my nonprofit," I'm sometimes like, "Oh my God, I don't even
Can't help you, sis.
know."
Mhm.
Yeah. Start a union, organize, work with, like, that's like my best advice because those are the things I did. Um, but yeah, it is. I think it's tough. I try to like do photo dumps every couple of posts. I think just to
Mhm.
be like, I am a
I'm
whole
still a person.
person.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's a pain because I'm always like, oh, I don't have any photos. I don't know what to do. And like, then it's its whole own spiral. But I think that's kind of my way of trying to be like, there are lots of parts of me, and like, I'll post a video that is not craft store lady or nonprofit boss, and I'll get comments that are like, when is there more craft store lady? And I know that comes out of like love, but it is just like, it can be overwhelming of like, listen, I'm a whole person, I'm a whole artist. I want to create content that people who followed me and supported me for so long care about, but I also want to stay true to myself and get to like explore and play and do different things that just resonate with me in all the different like weird parts of me.
Yeah. So we definitely want to say shout out to the cancers that listen to the show. I guess our editor is also a cancer. Did not know that, but yes, we have but yeah, all that to be said, I was going to say to your point. I think the other thing is kind of like when, we sometimes me and Joho will like, we're not able to record. And so sometimes we'll get texts from people. They'll be like, where's the new show? And it's like, yo, like, hold on.
Right.
I got a life too. Like stuff came up. We can't always
Yeah.
record the way we want to record. So yeah, so I literally understand that sometimes people
Yes.
see you as a commodity over, seeing you as, an actual human who has a
Yes.
human who's having a human experience. So
right.
yeah.
And I know it comes from like a place of love and like they're respecting the work, they like the work, but it is, I'm like, oh my gosh, I got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah. I will say I don't know. I don't always know if it's from a place of love. Like I don't always know that. Like I sometimes wonder, is it from a place of like just a place of demand? Like a place like because if, and this is me being super woo woo about it, but like if they loved you, they would understand that like you aren't always those characters, or like you just want to be a full person. And so I think I think there's a level in which it's fun and funny to be like, bitch, like where's the new character, where's the new episode or something. And there are times where I'm like we're not parasocial, baby. We're not even social. Like
I don't know you, girl.
I don't know who you are. It's actually
Right.
parasitic. Like it really is not. Like it's not feeling good. And so I mean, I think I do hold a place time where there is love on it, and sometimes depending on who it's from, it's like I actually am not here for your consumption. Like I know that I make stuff for you to consume, and like that's my agency, but like I'm not here for your consumption.
I am not an AMPM cup.
Yeah.
Yes,
So like
not an AMPM cup.
So I do hope that people see you as such. If not, then may all the Cancerians, you and Joey and Chris, like may you all unite and make a new world for us that we are in better in service to you. Your comedy feels very intentionally queer in the best way as well too. Like it plays with identity and absurdity, which I think is like that sometimes like the definition of queer, right? Like absurdity or obscene in like a really fun way, and it feels deeply human. And so I would love to ask, how does your queerness inform or shape your comedic point of view?
I mean, I'm obsessed with being gay. That's like one of my favorite. I'm like, is the best thing about me that I'm a lesbian? Maybe.
Yes. God really did his big one with that. Yes.
I know.
Yes.
I also did, just after 13 years of driving a very old car, just got a Subaru. And so I'm like, and now
coming into
you leveled up.
your
You've leveled up. You've leveled up. Yes.
I'm a real lesbian now.
Yes, Nicole Eva.
That's exciting.
You gotta turn on what's her name? Melissa Etheridge. Did you play Melissa Etheridge when you got in the car?
I did not.
Okay.
Please.
But it's all part of it. So yeah, I love creating very explicitly queer content. Like that's another one of my favorites, are doing like lesbian period pieces, just like all the lesbian tropes in movies. And I think there's also something inherently queer about like me playing all of the characters who are men, women, and everything. Like that is a really fun way to play with gender for myself. And I often think about, because like as a kid I was so obsessed with like doing all this like historical stuff, and I would like love to be in dresses. But to me, like especially as I look back, like it was so about like playing this role of
Yeah.
like wearing the dress. I was like, oh, that's kind of like being a character, because then like as my life evolved, I was like, oh, I never want to wear a dress. It feels very funny to me to like have to be in a dress or whatever. And that like changes for me and day, week, month, whatever. But I do think that there was always something about getting to play and explore with like gender through performance, and whether that was like in my house playing all of the characters or on the morning news thing, or as I do all of my characters and play all of the parts on TikTok. That's just
Yeah.
like it's very fun. It's very fun to inhabit all those different spaces and people, and yeah.
I love it. I really do. I think it is I think one of the greatest things about watching your content, the content that people are putting out there. I know how much work it takes to not only just edit it, but I think there's so much work that goes into you thinking about what other characters you're going to have in your skits and the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just for me, I always say I think there's just so much. Like I really wish people respected, like that's the thing I'll never knock. I'll never knock the creatives and the folks who are out there putting this content out, because I know how much thought has to go into even something that's
Mm-hmm.
a 2 minute 3 minute clip can
Mm-hmm.
take you weeks to do. And so it's
Mm-hmm.
just it's something
Yeah.
I've always respected and I've always honored.
Mm-hmm.
I know as we're starting to wrap up this in particular segment, I think the one thing that you've talked about in, earlier in the conversation, and I think as we're getting to now, you've talked about the overlap between Nicole the person and then Nicole the performer. And I wanted to ask you, how do you check in, for those who are listening that are having a very hard time, and we've talked about this in other episodes, how hard it can be to separate your work from you, if that makes sense. Like some people
Mm-hmm.
become the work. How
Mm-hmm.
do you check in with yourself to make sure you're still grounded amidst, all of the things that you have to do with
Mm-hmm.
being a creative, like the stuff you have to put out?
I think a big piece is having good friends, good community. And
Mm.
that doesn't have to be a lot of people, but it's about having really solid people close in. Like sometimes I'll send a dump to like a draft to my best friend, who's really my sister. And she will read it like, oh my, I'm like, you have hurt my feelings at this point. She's like, I think you're just too self-conscious. Like, don't think about it. Like, just go back to like people who really ground me.
Mhm.
That is huge. And
Yeah.
I think also just being super intentional with my time and my time on the phone. That has
Mhm.
been a big one, of just really working to get my screen time down. I have like 1,000 different like apps that block it. I have the brick that blocks it. I have a box that I can put it in that locks it
Mm.
up.
Mhm.
I have to really work, but when I can really get that screen time down under 4 hours a day, that I find I am just much more present with like, oh, right, like that stuff online is just a part of me. And that's just a
Yeah.
part of what I do.
Yeah.
It's just my job. And like, I have all of these other parts of me that are seen, maybe not by everyone, but by
Yeah.
some people. And that's sacred too. And it's good to have that privacy. And yeah.
Mm.
Do you want to say
I
anything?
was just gonna say I literally just checked my screen time and I was like, oh, I don't love the number. However, it is down today. So that makes me
Okay.
happy.
That's
Progress.
good.
Listen,
Progress.
progress is iterative and,
Yes.
slow. The arc of progress is,
Yes.
Yes.
but changes the course of your life. So we love to see
Mm-hmm.
it. Love to
Thank you
see it.
for holding me
I will
accountable.
say mine has been very
Gotcha.
high these past 2 weeks, so I've had to do some self-reflection about what is going on. What did I change?
Get off
Mm.
Instagram. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Let's say
Mhm.
my consumption is very high as well too. I'm like, how do I get off of that? How do I balance this more? The
Mhm.
last question I have for you, Nicole, is we're seeing such a vibrant rise in queer comedic voices across social media in Hollywood right now. Like I'm thinking of Dwayne Perkins, I'm thinking of Sam J, I'm thinking of Jabuki
Mhm.
Young White. And so I'm curious to ask, like, how do you see yourself carving space
Mm.
for yourself with the momentum you have?
Hmm. I feel like, well, I guess for me, and I think probably for many people on the internet in like comedy and acting spaces, for me the goal is to move away from the internet. And
Mm.
Mm,
I think I would love the day where I don't have to post videos and can be working as an actor or writing in a writer's room,
Mhm.
mm,
um, and really collaborating with people. And I think in terms of like carving space, I've been really interested in collaborating recently, with people who are like minded, creating videos together. I find that really helps me in terms of momentum because it can just feel so like blinders on what's going on. I'm in my own bubble.
Mhm.
Um, and I think that, yeah, I'm excited for being able to move into other spaces that are not online with
mm.
like many other people who are like me who want that. And I'm hoping that the industry and the various industries continue to kind of recognize people coming from this like non-traditional space more.
Mhm. Mhm.
Mhm.
I don't know if that answered your
No, I
question.
Yeah, no,
it
no,
did.
the
No, it
Okay.
did. I think you're what I heard you say was me and my student affairs bag. What I heard you saying was but no, I really heard you saying you've got to do what you got to do your way, and
Hmm.
I think that's the most important thing I think anyone can take from this conversation is you found your joy and you found your voice through the characters that you're creating, and I think that for me is what I think is so important. I mean, I'll just say this, like, I even think about this show, baby, put it out. Like,
Mm,
there's something special about what we all bring to whatever we bring to this, right? And it may
yes.
not always be the best thing, but what we're all doing is we're bringing our creativity, and I think in
Hmm.
this world more than anything, we all need
mm,
to be bringing that
Yes.
to the surface. So yeah,
yeah,
Right.
bring
People
that.
need to be like less. I know the internet can be so not friendly, but I
Yeah,
just am like, we just need more voices. I know some people would not agree with me,
yeah,
but I just think like overall, if everyone starts creating more, the voices that need to be heard and that are really important vehicles for
yeah,
change,
yeah.
like those voices will rise,
Hmm.
and that's important.
agreed.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, all right. Now that the nonprofit boss has tried to sell us some tote bags for a good cause, we are going to take a quick commercial break and come back with more show. Stay tuned.
Fam, we are back and we are black. Even though Black History Month is over, we are about 365.
Amen.
And this week for What's Poppin' section, we're diving into a quick combo about stan culture and asking when is too much too much? If you did or did not watch the NAACP Awards last week, you know that
It's
comedian Dion.
NAACP now. They're
Oh,
telling us we can't say double ACP anymore.
Spell it out.
Yes,
Spell it out.
it's NAACP. That's what they're telling people.
if you did not watch the NAACP Awards last week, you know that comedian Dion Cole shared graphic DMs this past weekend from Barb's after his Nicki Minaj joke at the NAACP Image Awards. Now, I have questions. Now it is feeding a bigger conversation around parasocial fandom,
Mhm.
misogyny noir, and when ride or die stan culture becomes targeted harassment. So I want to ask first, fans, are y'all good? Are y'all okay? What's this really about, and why? And why are some fans like this? Like, I'm curious of what y'all think first.
Nicole, did you want to go first before I jump in?
I mean, I feel like we've kind of been talking about the parasocial of
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
it all feels very relevant of just
Mm-hmm.
projecting an idea on a person who you do not know. Like
Yeah.
at the end
Mm-hmm.
of the
Yeah.
day, this is a stranger.
Yeah.
And I think
Strange.
we are forgetting that these people are
Yeah.
strangers.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I think yes. I want to. I'm going to check that and say I'm going to add a check next to it. I think so. What I love about our "What's Poppin" section is because that's the thing. A lot of I get most feedback from what people. I love when you dive into pop culture and you all give your nuanced and your interesting take. I think the thing about pop culture that has always been so interesting to me is how familiar it can make you feel with someone who's creating, right? So, this person creates this song, or this person creates the show, this person creates this movie, and you go, oh, I feel seen. I feel like this person, or even just in passing, right? You see this person on social media and their social media is hilarious, and you think, this is my friend in my head, right? Like as Wendy Williams would say, this is, my sister, my friend, my cousin in my head. But I also hate that I feel like social media has made people too familiar. And that's the thing I struggle with, when like you run up somewhere or you're walking somewhere and someone stops you or grabs you and you're like, oh my God, are you? And it's like, yo, like, yes, I am the person you think I am, but also please don't grab me. Like, I just feel like social media has made people too comfortable. And so that's what I was thinking about when I got into this conversation. And again, I don't know if you deal with this, or but I know you said you could speak to it to a degree. I think some people just take it too far. And I think it's to a point now where it's like, okay, like now fans of or stands of stan cultures are saying, okay, this is a lot. Like this is, y'all are doing way too much. And I even think about myself, like I am a huge Beyonce fan. Huge. But what I will say is, I ain't nobody's nutty enough to talk about, and I know people are not nutty to talk about Beyonce outside of their mouth. But what I don't like, I still recognize that she's an artist. Like that lady doesn't know me and I don't know her. She may know of me, and it would be nice to know that she knows of me. But these niggas don't know you. They are not your friends. They're not your family. They're not going to bail you out of jail. And so that's the thing. I'm looking at this Dion Cole of it all, and I'm going, you do know that this is stuff that he can take to court? Like, this is stuff that he can press charges on you for in relation to online harassment. I think people think, oh, well, it's online, I can't be held accountable for that. I just put that online, and it's like, no, girl, like, I'm gonna say it. Tasha K and that whole story. I don't know if you've been following the Tasha K of it all, right? But Tasha K said something out of pocket about Cardi B, and Cardi B sued her and won.
Oh yes, yes.
They are holding her up for $3 million. That is 52,973,800 pesos. That is 276,015,150 rupees. Okay? For some shit that she said online. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
What? I'm like all the currencies to you.
Right.
Like,
the math was done. Yeah.
Oh, it's like the math was math. Who could never tell you about it?
That is, yes, but I'm like, girl, you literally don't have it. Who has $3 million just to hand over to somebody because of some stupid shit that they typed online? Who has it?
Maybe Tasha K does. Whoever Tasha K is.
It's just, they've made it too easy to post, to respond.
Yeah.
It really needs to be like something that like flies up on the screen. Like, are you sure? Like, this is now going to be an official.
Yes. They someone needs to make that app and give us royalties when they're like DM threat alert, and it's like, girl, do you want to send this? You may get arrested for it. Calm down.
Exactly.
So,
you want to go to jail.
You want to go to jail, but but like it's like I think on one hand, I love attention. So if someone's like, "Hey, girl, aren't you on the BFF podcast?" I'm like, "Why, yes, I am." I do love it. I do get noticed often in my community because of my community work. But I think there's a level, I want to be really clear, don't mistake seeing me as like a faux sense of security or like safety in who we are as people. I think one of my biggest concerns is someone thinking because they hear the way I speak on my show, right, on our show, or on my Instagram, or at an event, they're I guess I want people to feel seen by me, but I don't want them to think that. I don't want them to think that it's one. I think it's one thing. It's one thing to say, I feel seen by your work, and I feel seen by what you put out. Like, that's one thing to me. but that's because that's my work and what I put
Right.
Mhm.
out. Don't then say like you changed my life. I'm like, I didn't change your life, girl. You changed your life, and I'm
Mhm.
thankful and grateful that like what I
My work
produced,
helps. Yeah.
Yeah.
right, helps you
Mhm.
do that. But
Mhm.
like you're giving me too much credit and giving me too much
Mm.
power in that moment, right? And so like
Mm.
Yeah.
I have
Mhm.
no concern. I have no interest in putting all that faith into a person. One, because it's a high expectation to put on them, but also
Mm.
because like it to me, like I'm not giving them credit for how I changed my life with that, right?
Mhm.
Like I would say, hey John, your book changed me because it helped me think about things to change my life, right? And I think that is a great honor to say. But it'd be different if I was like, John, you changed my life. Without you, I would be nowhere. Like right, like it makes it changes the dynamic between people. And I think like
Mhm.
and really I do think it is a faux sense of security that you have with that people have in this and I think parasocial is a fake sense of security. Like you
With social
feel
media. Yep.
emboldened and empowered to say like, oh, like we're besties. And like there are times where I'm like, yes, I think this person yes, I do this person and I would be besties. But if I meet them, I'm not gonna be like, hey, I think we'd be besties. Like you don't know, you actually don't know
Mhm.
that. One, two, my besties will not accept you. My besties will not accept you in the circle, girl. Like, no,
See.
like you can't
Yeah.
say we're besties. My besties are, but I already have besties, and they'd be like, "Bitch, what are you doing here? Let's calm
Yeah.
down."
I
But but like, so it's like I think like with, and especially with this, right? Like fandoms when you have people like Beyonce, Nicki, Rihanna, right? Like those fandoms are really heavy fandoms,
Mhm.
and I'm like, respectfully, if if Nicki Minaj wants to say something about it, she has the agency to say something about it to Dion. She does not need the barbs to pop up,
That's the
right?
thing. They don't
She
need you.
does not need that. If she calls on
They
you all,
don't need you.
again, girl, you have power and privilege in this world. Do not make others be your minions for it, right? When Beyonce often is like, please do not like but when Beyonce things happen right, Beyonce is like, please do not like act up like for this
Mhm.
thing, right? If Beyonce wants to handle it, she handle it. She got the legal team. Like
Mhm.
she is
And that's the thing
fine.
I wish
Like
people
trust that
understood.
like
You
the
don't
people
have the
have the
legal
team.
team.
Right.
Like
Yes.
Right.
you don't like I don't have the wealth. I don't have the legal team. I don't have the advisors around me. Like I don't have a team for this, right? And like I'm not equipped for this like level of engagement with a person. And so I think, and I think with Dion, I think you have a great point of Dion could press charges, right? I think that comes down to what you feel about the legal system and criminal justice system, and like how do you navigate that? And I don't know if that would be like me, but like, but I think like it's a really good point I mean, point to say like, hey girl, before you like this DM, you may want to unsend this because
Mhm.
this is not good for you, right? Or when people dox you, like it's just like
The
I
internet's a
think there
wild place. It's a
It
really wild
it
is.
place
is, then
these
it's why I
days.
place and like and you and like obviously like, we want people to feel empowered in the best way. So we don't want them to like overstep, right? Because it becomes like you're overstepping your power and trying to usurp my own power for myself, and that is not good. You're trying to usurp my agency or like who I am this
Mhm.
moment. Like I want to be my full self, and if I share myself with you, then yay, and we can share with each other. But don't expect me. They don't expect me to be this person, to do this thing, right? Like
Yeah.
let people be like be their full selves. Like if I want to be, I, I don't know. Like my mind's racing pretty now because I love this conversation, but also like I'm always bothered by the folks who really commit to like I don't want to say like overdoing it because I'm not trying to pass a value judgment, but like the but like
The
I have
people
a
who aren't too
concern.
invested, is that what you're trying to say?
I have a concern for people who are too invested in other lives
Yeah.
besides their
It
own.
just it's
Like,
Yeah.
weird.
invest in your own
It's
Yeah.
life, baby.
weird.
Your life,
It's
like
Yeah.
weird.
invest in you. That
Yeah.
is more important and necessary than anything in the world. I think that's like what it is. Like you're investing more in other people than you are in yourself, and that is
And
not
TBH, they're
good.
rich. They don't care about you. And that's the thing I think that is the reality. Most actors, most actresses, most singers, most comedians, they are rich. They get
Mhm.
into their black cars and they drive away. And I'll say this: I cannot wait. As much as we throw shade around here about rich people, the dream of mine is to be able to get into a black car and have somebody drive me away, so I could
Mm.
be like, "Is my
Mm.
car here? Oh, oh, the day I get to ask that question to somebody, to one of my assistants, is my car here?
Not
Oh,
one of my assistants.
One of.
yes.
One of
I
my
love
One
assistants.
that.
of my
I'm
assistants
weak.
is
Yeah,
my
I'm so
car
manifest that.
weak.
here.
Why just
Oh,
have one assistant when
Why
you
just
could
have when
have
you have
one at
get a
multiple?
home?
3?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there are multiple actors and actresses with 3. So,
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
I'm
not
just saying,
fair.
like,
You
all that to be said, a lot of celebrity, like, celebrity, and I'll say this is a very general statement, celebrity doesn't care about you, and
Mhm.
I think for you to put your life on the line for a person or an artist or whoever that may never send you any money for your bail, it's a lot for me. It's a lot. So, be
Yeah.
careful out there, y'all. Y'all got to be careful
Ooh,
with your DMs. That's the last
okay.
of that.
To that point, now let me remind y'all that you cannot to not write DMs your ass or your mouth or your fingers can't write a check for. We gotta take one more break. When we come back, it'll be your first segment. Yes, man, no man pants. More in a moment.
All right, y'all. So we are back with y'all's favorite segment, our Yes Ma'am and I Know Ma'am Pam. And this is when we give flowers to the things that we absolutely adore or we slap the shit out of somebody with them. And so this week I wanted to we don't have like a black business moment here on this show. I'm not going to act like there's something that we're going to add. What I do want to do with this segment this week is I do want to big up a black business that came across my timeline, and I immediately jumped into this tizzy of trying to figure out what my schedule is going to be like for the next couple of months. So I'm like, I need to find time to be in this space. So we were talking a little bit earlier at the top of the show. We were talking about wellness, our mental health. We were talking about things that we can do to keep laughing and to be helpful and peaceful and all that. And so I wanted to shout out a place that I think is really important right now, specifically for Black people to find. There's been a lot, I've also been seeing a lot of this on social media, people talking about like there's no real safe place for Black people because of the way the
Mm-hmm.
world is built. And
Mhm.
so seeing this made me say, oh, I have to say something about it with my platform because I
Mm.
think this could truly be a place for Black people to feel safe. So the Genesis House, if you search it, it's with a J, it is not with a G, is a Black woman owned wellness estate and retreat space in Sedona,
Mm-hmm.
Arizona.
Oh wow.
It is designed as luxury, small capacity sanctuary for rest, nervous system reset. Now, come on now, and
Mhm.
intentional healing experiences. It's set on several acres with red rock and views that access
Ooh.
Oak Creeks. It features about
Ooh.
10 private suites inspired by Japanese
Ooh.
and Scandinavian design. Pools, hot tubs, outdoor yoga decks, greenhouse style bathhouses,
Ooh.
herbal
Wow.
soaks, tea house, and space that
Ooh.
is known as Intuition Treehouse.
That's
So
right.
Mm.
I say all of that to say there's so much more. They have a Himalayan salt room, watercolor. There, like
Mm.
it is a true place
Mm.
for deep relaxation. I think as Black people, I've been super intentional about where I want to spend my money these last couple
Mhm.
of months/years, but also thinking about this idea of like where can I truly go and reset, where I'm not necessarily going to have to be on guard because often, and again, I don't know
Mm.
if this is y'all's experience, but I know this as being my experience when I go into these quote unquote highfalutin, you know, rest spaces, the first
Mhm.
thing you start to get a notice of is how did you get here? How do you have money to be here? You
Mm-hmm.
know, you're taking up space, all of that. And so I personally am in a place of now, like, I need to book me a flight because I need to
Mhm.
get to this place so that way I can
Mm.
actually
Mm.
relax the way I want to relax. So,
Yeah.
if you have the means, I just want to throw that out there.
Mhm.
Now, kind of in the same vein, but also kind of shifting a little bit, and again, touching on what I said at the top of the show. My No Man Pam this week, I was gonna say something about everything that's happening around the Tasha K and the
Mm.
Dominique Morgan and the T.S. Madison of it all. But I'm gonna save that because I'm gonna say, I'm a true believer in, and I said this on TikTok yesterday. The reason why I sleep so well at night is not because I make quote unquote a lot of money, because I don't. It's not because I eat well, because these days you all know my food intake is limited. I can only eat so much. What I will say is it's because I leave people the fuck alone. I sleep
Mm.
well because I don't bother nobody. I don't go online. I don't go into people's comments. I don't That is not who I am. I don't bother
Mm.
anybody. So I said all of
Mhm.
that to say, leave people the fuck alone. But when I also say this in tandem to what I'm about to say, My other no man Pam, or my no man Pam that's connected to this leave people alone, is when a person decides to use social media to talk about their lived experience, please don't go into their comments and be like, that's not true, that's not real, that didn't happen, that's not the case. And I say that because I think about the viral librarian and Future reading, I think, is it Future reading Rainbow, or did he already get it?
Oh, yes, yes.
Is he's already doing it?
Yeah, Michael.
Okay.
Mhm.
Michael, yeah. I don't know if you all have been following his story or what's been going on around him, but a couple of weeks ago, he was very open online about living with anxiety, depression, and his
Mhm,
suicidal ideation, and was
Mm.
framing libraries as a place for him and for people like him, for them to feel like they belong and to feel seen. And so a whole bunch of people jumped into his comments, basically
Mm.
said that he was weird, that he was giving off dark energy, basically saying that he was doing this as a way for him to build notoriety. And what I will tell you, as a person who lives with suicidal ideation, 9 times out of 10, when we tell you that something is going on with us, we're telling you as a warning, because we're thinking we want someone we know or we love or that we appreciate to check in on us,
mhm.
right? Like, we're not doing it for, like, I'm gonna be honest, rarely are we ever doing it for attention. We're usually doing it
Mhm.
to kind of like hold ourselves accountable, so that way we
Mhm.
don't do something that we may end up regretting, or that we would harm a whole bunch of people. But that's a whole conversation for a different day. I say all of that to say, again, no one is faking their experiences. No one needs to dramatize their struggles. If you feel like it's not real, or that someone is doing this for attention, scroll on. You
Right.
don't have to respond. You don't have
Yeah.
to address it. You don't have to engage with it. Just leave people. Like, I guess that's my
Mhm.
point. Like, it's really frustrating to me that people won't leave him alone. And I'm also in this place of like, the world would be just so much better, even beyond Michael, come like down to queer people, trans people, fat people, black people, you know, what is it? The people who like to wear tails, leave them the fuck alone. Just
Mhm,
leave people who like
Yeah.
to dress up as, as animals, and they like to do
mhm.
things with each other in the animal suits. Leave them alone too. Like, just leave people alone.
Mhm.
That's it.
Y'all be too comfortable behind the screen.
Like,
Y'all be too comfortable behind the screen. This is like my point earlier. Y'all too comfortable behind the screen. Like, ooh,
uh,
ooh.
too
Dare
comfortable.
I say
Too
I'm
comfortable. I'm
pissed the
not.
old
Don't even
days.
get me
We
started.
gotta say it to my face and get knocked out trying.
I'm
Like
gonna
I
tell you right
just
now, I'm that lady who will drive 3 hours. You remember that lady a couple of months ago who drove 3 hours to consult that man, or to confront that man who called her
consult
the N word online?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, I remember, yeah.
I will do it.
Mhm,
So yeah,
right?
mhm,
Because like it's all fun and games when someone has time, and then when they have time,
mhm, mhm.
don't be surprised when y'all
Yep.
hit your
it's
door and they're like,
all
"Oh my god,
fun
I
and
hate you,
games
Mhm.
until
girl."
someone has time. I love
That
that.
yeah.
I love it. What about you, Nicole? What are your yes ma'ams and your no ma'am Pams for this week?
Um, I mean, there are a lot of no man Pams that I could probably use, like, because what a moment.
Yeah.
But I think I'm gonna do one that's kind of light, but not, which is I am sick of medical office, doctors' offices
Mm.
sending test results with no context because they
Yeah,
upload them into the portal
they do.
before they talk to you. Which, like, yes, I want to have the ability to access my
Yes.
healthcare, blah, blah, blah. But every single
Give me a
time, there will
comment.
be
What does it
one
mean?
thing that's like, I'll like Google it and it's like, you might die next week. And I'm like,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then I'm
Yeah.
like,
yeah.
when are they going to tell me? And then every time, touch wood,
Uh-huh.
like the
You're like
doctor comes
not
back
concerned
and is
about
like,
it.
by the way, this isn't a concerning thing. This is like very common in your age or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And I'm
Mhm.
like, stop sending them to us. Like,
Yeah.
don't let us access them because we can access them and then we can access Google. And maybe this is just
Yeah.
a new problem, but like when I see that they're like, this level was slightly up,
A
I'm
little
like,
high. Oh,
what does
death.
that mean?
Yeah.
So, no more sending medical test results with no context.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Agreed. That's a great one. That's a
Yeah.
great one.
That
Yeah.
is just something I would like to have some freedom from. And then I think kind of what popped to mind as we were talking about Genesis
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
and the
House.
retreat house is one of my favorite things, which is one of my favorite apps. This is not an ad, is the tapping solution because I love EFT tapping, emotional freedom technique tapping.
Oh.
And it's a way to like integrate whatever negative belief, anxiety you might be experiencing, and then move through it. And so you start by tapping on the side of the hand, saying the anxiety or saying the fears, and then you move through these other points with like reframes and positive affirmations and that kind of thing. Anyway, I use this app, the tapping solution, and they have a tapping for everything. You're nervous
Wow.
about flying a plane. You had a bad dream and you're scared to go back to sleep. You want to like have a
Mm.
healing night's sleep. You're working, they have like a whole trauma series. You're working through a specific trauma. You're
Mm.
healing your gut. You're having knee pain, like everything. And sometimes I have friends, I had a friend come over a while back and she was just like, I'm just in like such a funk. I really don't feel good. I don't know what it is. And I was like, there's a tapping for that. And there was, and she was like moved through it. And now she has the app. So the
Mm.
app is not free, is the only thing.
Okay.
Mm.
But
Is
I think
how
it's
much?
something to,
Quanto cuesta?
I think it might be like $100 for the year.
Oh, that's not bad.
Now
Okay.
I use it every day,
Okay.
sometimes multiple times a day. So it pays for itself.
Worth the
Mhm.
But
investment.
there are also like YouTube videos that you can find for
Yeah.
free of like
Mhm.
tapping for, and you could like fill in the blank.
I love
Mm.
that.
So I love that app and I love tapping.
Mhm. Okay.
Wow. Okay. Yes.
Nothing but a resource.
Ooh.
This whole segment is a
No.
resource. I know that's
I
right.
was like, Nicole, cousin,
Mhm.
you got the things. I live.
Yeah.
I
Ooh,
am
mine are
trying.
not as informative. My gosh. My Yes Ma'am Pam is just to I recently saw Sam Smith at the residency at the Castro Theater in SF,
Mm.
and it was really fantastic. If you have a chance to go, I think anyone should go. It's their voice is gorgeous. The background vocalist,
Mm.
amazing.
I believe
You
it.
yeah, did you give a question, John?
I
You like
did have a question. Did you see them when they had on them boots? They had on the Mary J. Blige boots? Was that
No.
your show? Okay, was
No,
just
it's
wondering.
not my show, but I would have lived if they did.
Okay,
No,
yeah.
they were giving a bit more pirate in mine. I said, "Huh,
Okay.
huh."
No, because
But
I was gonna say people said terrible things. Obviously, people are gonna talk terribly
I'm
about
not
them
surprised.
anyway. But they were
People say
saying that
really
the
good
look was
ways.
terrible. But I absolutely adored it. I thought it was a really great look, especially with the
I
boots.
I don't come for looks, I come for vocals, and I get
Right.
and that's what I got.
Mhm.
And they looked fine. Like, I came for the vocals, and the vocals were vocaling, and the background vocalists were amazing. They did a great set, great opener. I was
Mhm.
sad that I missed apparently they have some guest stars, like, one show they had Hozier come out, which I would have
Oh.
actually like, I would have cried if Hozier came out for mine, 'cause they sang "Take Me to Church," and I would've been like, you can like, God, I'm like, you can take me now. Like,
Take
it was
me
just been
take me to
because
heaven.
to
Yes.
be sure, because I
Yes.
love Hozier and like their voices have been so beautiful together. So like Yes Ma'am Pam to Sam, great shape it on
Mhm.
boo. If you ever hear this, babes, live, laugh, love you so much. You're amazing, Sam. You're amazing. Please don't stop the work. Um and I would love to meet you one day and just like watch you perform. See, now I'm being parasocial. Let me calm down.
Yeah.
I know, ma'am, Pam. If you be coming to a concert and you be farting in that concert, get out.
Oh,
Because why
okay.
are you
Oh.
flatulating like
Oh,
this? Oh my god. Okay, actually, multiple
oh,
things. One, don't be farting at a damn concert. But two,
Mm-mm.
yeah.
if you are a straight person in this or if you are I'm gonna say if you are a straight person in this concert, you are a guest in this house. And if you smell the fart, don't look at me, girl. Don't look at me for it.
So
Cause I
somebody
think it's
was
you.
tooting and
I
looking
think
at
it's you,
you?
Miss Thing.
Wow.
Tooting and look right at me. There was
Wow.
like I was like, this is this was a big bitch? You think it was me?
No!
What self-respecting gay would ever be farting in the middle of a concert like that?
You
That's
got to put the
wild.
fan
That's
I
up. That's when you had to put the
wild.
fan up.
I said,
Blow the smoke away.
Miss Thing, you
Oh.
have the wrong person, but do not come into my don't come into my queer space. I wanna bring back gatekeeping. I do not believe
Mm.
Mhm.
if we have to ask folks at the door, "Are you queer or not?" and they're like, "No, I'm not. Please leave." Great.
You're not
I
welcome
I'm not
here.
mad about it.
Oh.
They have every other
Wow.
space you can go
Yes.
to
Yes.
in the city. I don't
Mm-mm.
need you to be here right now, especially if
So
you accuse me of doing some scandalous shit.
you
Mm.
know what this reminds
No.
me of? There is a meme or a clip online where somebody screams, "These niggas eat beans."
It's not A beans.
And I just think about like, when you said fart, I said, "Oh God, they eat beans!
Beans.
Oh Lord, they ate beans. They were literally eating
Mm.
beans on the way in
They
there."
needed some
Mm.
Gas X. That would do
Oh,
it. Gas
yeah,
X or
it's just
something. Mm.
Get
it's
some
okay.
Pepto for yourself, girl.
Yeah.
Like, oh my
Something
Mm.
god,
Tums. And
like
we're at that age.
how you
We're
gonna
at that
hot
age.
box
Right.
the
Yeah.
entire venue like that?
Yeah.
Like, because
Mm.
also
Oh,
we were like no more than 20 feet from Sam, so I know there's no way Sam didn't
I
smell that
know she
themselves.
a
smelled
It's
it
like
little.
too.
Oh.
people was like, "Stay, ooh,
She smelled it
little bit,
too.
ooh,
Oh Lord.
ooh."
That reminds me of when Janet was made that comment about people smoking. She was like, "Ooh, y'all smoking up in here." They were smoking weed at her concert, and so she had to make a comment about it because they were trying to hotbox her out. But my God, yeah,
Girl.
babies, make sure you take some
Mm.
keep get some gas sex on your person.
Get a Lactate, a
Yes.
gas X, some
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Tums,
Yes.
like,
Mm-hmm.
have a
Mhm.
little kit
Mm-hmm.
on you, girl, if you go out in the
Yeah.
streets.
Yeah. Take
Mm-hmm.
care of yourself.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, you got to take care of yourself. This has been so fun. With that being said, we're about to wrap. Please send us your thoughts, your feedback, and email to blackfatfempod@gmail.com. You know, we love you being in our inbox. We love you being in our inbox, our DMs on the
We
socials.
do.
Make sure that they are good DMs, these you actually can stand by. Because I'm not, I will say, I am not below sending things to the peoples to let them
Mhm.
know that you acting up in my DMs. You can interact with us on Instagram and Threads by using the handle at BlackFatFemPod. Nicole, when you
Mhm.
aren't being the baddest in the game, where can the
Mhm.
dolls find you?
I am on Instagram at Nicole Olive and TikTok at Nicole Olive D.
Okay, I love that. Nicole Olive.
Yeah,
D.
that's
What
my middle name.
what
Ooh.
kind of olive?
Oh, I always pictured it a green olive.
Mm,
Yes, you
I
give
can
green
see it.
And
I
I,
can
olives.
because I
see
love
it.
that color. It's one of my favorite colors.
I
There's a
can
green
see it
couch
See,
on you,
behind me.
yeah.
I love green. There's a green
yeah,
object of furniture in every room of my house.
I love that.
Ooh.
I love that. Nicole
Mhm.
Olive. All
Mm.
right, Joho. Where can the dolls find you?
Of course, my loves, you can find me at Joho Daniels across all socials. My website, johodaniels.com. If not there, you will find me. Last week I also said you can find me sleeping, but that's a lie. So you'll find
Driving.
me lying somewhere on the street. And when I say lying, I mean
Mhm.
I'll be lying to people on the street about where I am,
Oh, I
where
thought you
I've
meant
been,
lying on the street,
who I am.
like on the
No, no, no,
ground.
no,
I was gonna be
no,
like,
no.
in
I will.
Burbank? Oh, baby,
No,
don't
no,
do
I will.
that.
Ugh,
Mm-mm.
never.
Mm-mm.
No,
Yeah.
lying in bed, but lying on the street when people ask me, "Oh, where'd you go?" I'm like, "Oh, nowhere. I just went home." He did not go home, girl. He did not
Nope.
go home.
Mm-mm.
He went to the club. He went to the bar.
Mhm.
He went to Zimbabwe. He did not come back. Like
Yep.
Mhm.
that's just
And
me.
that's why you tired because you never stay home. You know, I check your locations and I'd be like, girl, why are you not home? Why are you not
I thought
home?
you said earlier that you leave people alone.
Well,
No,
two
no,
things can be true.
not me.
Two things can be true.
No, my
Yes.
sister. My one thing about my good sis. She's like, girl, why are you outside? Go
Why
home.
are you outside?
Sleep,
Go
sleep,
home
bitch. And
because
I'm
you're
like, I
always
know.
tired. Yes. As for me and mine, you can catch me on socials at Dr. John Paul. I have been going down a baking rabbit hole.
Mm.
I
Yeah, I'm
baked
gonna
a
need some
cake.
of that bread. I'm gonna need some
I
of that bread for
did.
that
I
bread
baked
pancake.
Oh.
I said, how dare you make this and not invite me over?
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
you
Mm.
know,
huh.
I have a little bit of time these days, so I'm trying to get slowly back into the baking of
Ooh.
it all. We'll
Mm.
definitely bake you something. But I was gonna say, if you're online, you'll see me sharing. My next feat. I want to try to learn how to bake my own donuts or how to make my own donuts. That's
Oh
the
no,
next
that's
thing
Oh.
right.
I want to
Yes.
do is be able to
Ooh.
make a good
Mhm.
donut. So that's the next
Ooh.
move
John
I'm on.
Doe's.
Yes, yes,
John
yes. You see
Mm.
it. You
Doe's.
see
Yes.
Yes.
it.
I love the
Yes.
vision.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes, yes. Online, www.drjohnpaul.com, where you can learn more about my consulting, my books, And where I will be in the coming weeks. I will just kind of throwing it out here, throwing it out there. I have a couple of writing retreats that I will be going to across
Mm.
the country. And then I will be, thank
Congratulations.
you, baby. And then in May, I will be in Chicago at the Nova Summit. So if you are in
Ooh.
Chicago and you want to say hello and you catch me there, say hi. Pull up on me, but also don't pull up on me.
I was
You know,
like, ooh.
if you know, you know. If you want to see and learn more about this show, watch Who I Am Meant to Be on Hulu, where we talk about the magic of this show, which is now streaming. That being said, this has been another show. Stay black, fat, femme, and fabulous. And remember what, Joho? Oh, wait, pause. Before we close, I wanted to say this. Do you watch Love is Blind, Nicole?
I have seen an episode or two.
Okay, you're better for it. I was going to say this. So by the time y'all hear this, you've had a week to watch the final. I am pissed that Alex had the audacity to get up on that stage and talk poorly about his quote unquote wife with all those crumbs on his face. I needed to say that. You had the audacity to go off about her and the decisions that she made, but you are up there talking about you don't want to get married with crumbs on your face. I'm sick of it. I am so sick of him, and I'm so glad that she said no. But anyway, all that to be said, let me say this again. This has been another show. Stay black, fat, feminine, fabulous, and remember what, Joho?
We may not be a cup of tea, girl, but drink some aquapana and get that Italian mineral water in your system, baby. Because when you know better, you do better.
You do better. And go wash your damn face. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye. The Black Fat Femme podcast is executive produced by Joey Pat and DoctorJonPaul.
All content related to the show is edited by Chris Rogers.
This has been a podcast by iHeartMedia and DoctorJonPaul LLC.
The Black Fat Femme podcast,
where all the intersections of identity are celebrated, honey.
I know that's right.